It was just released this week and is already receiving high marks for its enlightening and enchanting peek inside the world of famed author C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. Joining us with her latest and highly acclaimed book, Once Upon a Wardrobe, is New York Times bestselling author Patti Callahan. It is so good to have you.
I am so happy to be here on Publication Week. This is an honor.
Absolutely. Tell us more about your latest book, Once Upon a Wardrobe.
It was inspired by the origins of stories. As authors, we are constantly asked, where'd you get that idea? Where did that come from? And the question is so unanswerable. So I chose a story that everyone knows. That is a story that has entered the universal consciousness, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I give us a story about where it came from.
That's a wonderful tribute, certainly, to C.S. Lewis. And of the 16 novels that you have written in your career, you have a particular love for this author. Why have you dedicated so much of your time to celebrating C.S. Lewis's work?
It all started when I found out about his fiery, courageous, and complicated wife, Joy Davidman. Their improbable love story had me diving deep into both of their lives for my book, Becoming Mrs. Lewis. And when I was writing that, I saw so many moments in Lewis's life, like little breadcrumbs that showed up in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And it was so fascinating to see an author's life show up in a story we love.
You know, a lot of critics, particularly in the South, love your voice in your books, and you have a certain way of telling a story. I'm curious what inspires you to write some of your other novels, including Surviving Savannah.
Absolutely. For me, it's always about curiosity. If I am curious about something, then there's a story hidden in there. And my favorite thing to do is find this little nugget of information that you have never heard that flips the story you think you know on its head. And that's what happened with Once Upon a Wardrobe. And I imagined a sister and a brother living in 1950s England. And it was exactly 71 years ago this week that book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, hit the shelves. And I imagined and got curious about how that affected their worlds in 1950. Mm-hmm. And a story bloomed out of there. So for me, it is always about curiosity. If I am curious, someone else probably is also.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in Chronicles, it's magical, it's ethereal. Is there anything that you want readers to know about C.S. Lewis that maybe they don't know?
Yes, I think one of the things I was really trying to show is that he is human. He had a childhood. He had a lot of brokenness and a lot of sorrow in his life. He lost his mother at 9 years old. He fought in World War I. And yet, he knew how to take the broken pieces of life and turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. He knew how to take these very ordinary moments in his life and alchemize them into a magical land. And that journey from ordinary to extraordinary is something very few people can do. And I think it's something we can all do if we notice the ordinary and see the extraordinary in it.
That's a wonderful way of putting it. How long does it typically take you to write one of your novels?
It depends. The research intensive, for example, Surviving Savannah came out this year, and it is about the lost to time shipwreck tragedy of 1838, carrying the elite of Savannah and Charleston north for the summer, a luxury steamship that exploded off the coast of North Carolina. And that book took years because of the research. Becoming Mrs. Lewis, the improbable love story of Lewis and his wife, also took years. But this book was very much based on the research I had already done. on becoming Mrs. Lewis. So this book took me a year.
And thereby giving your readers a wonderful gift that they can now enjoy. I also want to remind our viewers that you're the co-founder and co-host of a very popular podcast, Friends and Fiction. And you are going to be at a bookstore very soon. Can you tell us when the event is taking place?
This Friday, hosted by Buxton Books, but at the Charleston Library Society on King Street, we are having a beautiful event to celebrate the publication of this book and the 71st anniversary of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I will be joined by my friend Mary Alice Monroe, and we will talk all things fairy tale, fables, the secrets behind this book, and just have a wonderful celebration.
Sounds like a magical evening, and I would encourage our viewers, all of our bibliophiles out there, to come down and enjoy this special event. Patti, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I loved being here.
We're back after this.